Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday, February 10th. From the San Antonio Express News, my name is Luis Vasquez, and this is your Express Briefing. All of the stories you need to know to start your day. You can expect a high of 61 degrees in San Antonio today, with the potential for some showers. As the city's coronavirus positivity rate continues to show signs of improvement, officials have detected the first known cases of the more contagious UK strain of the COVID-19 virus in 2 local residents. Mayor Ron Nirenberg called it a wake-up call. The Spurs took on the Golden State Warriors again after an epic game-winning shot Tuesday night. We have the highlights from last night over at expressnews.com. We'd like to thank you for waking up with us on weekday mornings and would like to hear from you. Please rate and review this podcast inside of your Apple Podcast app, as it helps the show move up in the rankings. And now let's move on to our top stories for the day. Central Texas winery owner Christopher Grider says he was in D.C. on January 6 to show support for President Donald Trump at a rally outside the White House. He never planned to be at the Capitol, much less take part in an insurrection, his attorney says. As the Senate begins its impeachment trial against former President Donald Trump this week, several of the 24 Texans arrested after the riot claimed they were inspired by the president's words and actions. Benjamin Wormund has more in his latest story. Martin Phipps, also the owner of a popular Riverwalk bar, is accused of psychologically and verbally abusing his then-wife, according to an arrest affidavit. 51-year-old Phipps was arrested Monday on suspicion of telephone harassment for repeatedly contacting 24-year-old Brenda Vega, to whom he was briefly married. Vega told San Antonio police in December she had to get away from Phipps after he confronted her in an aggressive and agitated state. You can read the arrest affidavit details in Taylor Pettaway's latest story. After months of asking parents to keep their children in remote learning, SAISD will start welcoming more students back to its campuses as the local coronavirus transmission rate continues to decline. District leaders announced the new stance after city health officials reported the local positivity rate had dropped to 9.7%, moving the Metropolitan Health District's school risk indicator into the yellow zone from the more severe red zone. Andres Picon has more on what parents should know in his latest article. Mayor Ron Nirenberg has put together a team of more than 100 business and community leaders to help him raise money for his re-election, according to his campaign. Even amid the coronavirus pandemic and its ensuing economic fallout, the mayoral race is expected to be costly. See who's on the mayor's list in Joshua Fechter's latest story. Next up are your need-to-know headlines. You can find all of these headlines and more inside of your Express News subscription. A member of the radical group Iron Youth was charged after allegedly purchasing a machine gun from an undercover police officer. The state is launching a new relief program to aid Texans who have struggled to pay their rent and utility bills during the pandemic, using federal stimulus funds to support the more than $1 billion initiative. Ron Nirenberg and Greg Brockhouse disagree on raiding the city's reserve fund. Gilbert Garcia gives his take in his latest Budo Politics. Lobbyists for Bexar County said they're hopeful President Joe Biden's rescue package will provide funding for ecosystem restoration and hike and bike trails that were not included in the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers work program for 2021. Though signs at Regal Fiesta Stadium 16 still state it will be back soon, the Discount Theater in Northwest San Antonio has permanently shut its doors, and the site may eventually be turned into apartments. By accepting Greg Popovich's tough love and take no prisoners approach, the Spurs' DeJounte Murray is coming into his own as an NBA point guard. The Aggies' Ryan McCollum and 3 other departing senior starters on a bullish offensive line played a big role in leaving a memorable mark on the program. Bernie will open registration for its first vaccination hub, but all available appointments are expected to be filled within minutes for the 500 doses of the Moderna vaccine that the city has received. 3 San Antonio area men were arrested this week after allegedly possessing child pornography, officials said. The Texas Attorney General's office made 4 arrests using tips from a national reporting system for the online exploitation of children. A new Habitat for Humanity neighborhood near Von Ormy, Rancho Carlota, will eventually house 250 families who make below the area median income. Texas football produced $146.8 million in total operating revenue, down from $157 million last year, but ample enough to help the athletic department finish $27.1 million in the black. While 2/3 of people said they bought Valentine's gifts in 2020, less than half will this year, according to a new study. Chris Daniels will represent his country this month, and he's seen enough of the world to know that means something. On his way from the east side of San Antonio to the far east region of the globe, he found plenty of reasons to love both and appreciate what connected it all. Mike Finger brings you the story of Chris Daniels on his way to Team USA over at expressnews.com. A West Texas attorney's Zoom calls court mishap is going viral. "I'm here live. I'm not a cat," said Presidio County Attorney Rod Ponton. The declaration was necessary because Ponton was appearing on the virtual hearing through a cat filter. You can watch that hilarious video over at expressnews.com. The rodeo is pretty much a private event this year, but you can still enjoy rodeo-inspired food, fashion, and other fun around the city. Rene Guzman shows you how in his latest article. Doc Watkins is live again and selling out. Deborah Martin shows you how to get back in the groove in her latest article. Watch the body swap horror movie Freaky with Vince Vaughn at home on Blu-ray. For more on what's new and notable in home entertainment, head over to expressnews.com. And that's all for today. This was your Express Briefing for Wednesday, February 10th. My name is Luis Vasquez. Please consider becoming an Express News subscriber to get in-depth coverage on all of the stories you heard today. Also, be sure to rate and review this podcast inside of your Apple Podcast app, as it really helps the show. Have a wonderful day, everyone.